what is important for a good esport team, and what is important for a good esport player, like individual? What do you think?
For a good esport team,
Yeah.
I would definitely say it's like our basics. What we start with every team is building this team culture, right? I mean, we start and we continue. Team culture is a live thing, right? Out of this team culture, which is kind of an abstract term if I talk it like this, but let's put it in practicals. Like when, you know, mistake happens, how do we approach that? You know, what does that mean for us? You know, going in on even on a philosophy kind of stance of like, what does the victory mean to us? You know, what is our main motivation? What are we here in for? You know, so creating the house, creating the walls, creating the doors, creating everything from the foundation, that's for me culture. Second thing is what I call psychological safety, which I would put as a main thing, trust. A team and players that trust each other, that they can show themselves vulnerable, and that they won't be made fun of or be belittled is very important, because this is where they're allowed to risk. They're allowed to recognize and admit to their mistakes. They're allowed to. They feel empowered to, and that they will be approached with open hands, right? Not like with defensive stance, with aggressive stance. So I think that team culture and having clear routines and clear approaches brings forth psychological safety, brings this trust, sharing a lot of different scenarios, not only in-game, is very important. And learning something about each other as people. Because again, you can, character-wise, you don't have to like your teammates. Just something is like, you don't like everyone. Like I don't like to spend time with everyone. But I might have to work with someone I don't like to spend time with, which is fine. But many times this I don't like someone is due to the fact that they don't give an opportunity, or they don't even open up to see who this guy really is. You know, because I know you in CS, but I don't know anything. I literally see you online and I see exactly this part of your role. What's behind? You know, what's the bigger picture? So I think trust is something that really helps in everything, in this kind of feeling safe. That's key.
On the individual level?
On the individual level, I'm going to give the most obvious reason. The most obvious answer, it depends. But let's say, I mean, an individual also needs to develop this philosophy, you know, understanding of themselves, like, who am I? What do I even do here? You know, what this little peck in time of my whole lifetime means for me on a bigger level. You know, I feel like players, are very present moment centered, in the sense that they don't have the capabilities or the need to look much further, right? Because like, no, things will happen. You know, when we work on prevention, it's like, they don't see a reason why. Because they, you know, until it doesn't hurt, they don't come to think this is important, right? So I think that creating this better philosophy and having this value system set and knowing who you are, knowing yourself better, is what really helps them to be grounded and, in this sense, be better with and for the others. Because, I mean, these are young adults, and they haven't been through the common experiences that most people have, through the school, through the sports where they literally punch you and hit you on the floor and jump on you. They have been part of toxic environments on chat or online, for sure. So that's their way, or their kind of obstacle course. But many of them are not very self-aware. And I think that really it's hard to work on anything if the first step.
What you need to be
So for the first part, kind of whenever we start individual work, always the first week is whatever topic we chose, observe that and be aware. Nothing else. How many times do I have to remind? Sometimes I don't even give them the second step because I know that they will already be trying to do 1 and 2 and 3, right? But it's so hard for them to be patient and continually work on something which might be boring, right? And I again think that if you have a greater sense, greater perspective of like, what am I here for? What do I want to do? What does this help me with? You know, I also work with one traditional athlete, a basketball player, and it's funny, like through the course of 1 year now, I think, we keep coming back to the first week of work where we have defined what is she doing this for. Literally, so many obstacles, you know, anxiety is always a good example, like being stressed. It's like, what does this problem on the scale of large have to do with this in the beginning, which we thought? And it's like, when you bring this sense of perspective, things seem lighter, you know, manageable, biteable. You know, it's not so big anymore, chill. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that just getting closer to these young adults and speaking with them openly about life, even sometimes can be really impactful, you know, because they don't get to speak about life much, right? And yeah, they have their social circles and stuff, but they're many times uni-thematic. So lack of self-awareness or greater perspective, and that's a huge topic again, and it continually builds up. But we gotta start from that.
Yeah, I like that. You know, things that you mentioned. You know, like trust, culture, definitely on the group level, and self-awareness, and knowing why you're doing this, why you're here, what you want, stuff like that. You know, as basics, but definitely important parts of the pyramid, which build everything else. You know, and on the last part comes that performance and everything else. It's just solid base, and then everything else upon that. So,
Would you add anything else on a team level, for example?
On a team level, I think that for me, I would maybe add like their roles to be compatible with each other. Not in way of in-game goals, they're set and everything. Somebody can not like their role best or whatever, but their like maybe characteristics and their personalities, you know, stuff like that. I think that maybe that's also one thing I would maybe add. You know.
So making rosters is just interesting. The other day I said most teams fail before they begin.
Yeah.
And they just lump together pieces. Like there was many times the topic superstar team. I would never go there. I mean, never is a big word, but who are these people? Not how do they play.
I think it's the same in traditional sports as well. But what the problem is in esports, it seems to me that still it's going a bit too fast. You know, it's still fast forward. You know, and it's still not having that much time to invest into a roster and to keep it a bit longer. And I'm not saying like years and years, but a bit longer. You know, and to invest time and resources into building the roster or finding the better fit. You know, because it seems to me that I work a lot in football. And it seems to me that the best managers and the best clubs, they don't only buy the best player, they buy the best fit, you know. And it doesn't have to be the player that scores the most goals or that has the best skills or something like that, but that fits the best. Or if they got the player that doesn't fit, in a way they try to fit him in the team. Or I remember I watched on Netflix. I watched like Coach's Rulebook for Life, and I don't know if you've seen it. And I watched the episode where Jose Mourinho was being asked. The guy asked him, okay, you coached a lot of great stars like Drogba, like Cristiano Ronaldo, Ibrahimovic, etc. How do you make them better? And he was like, I can't teach Zlatan Ibrahimovic how to catch the ball in the 16 in the box and to shoot it. I can't teach Drogba how to hit a header. I can't teach Cristiano Ronaldo how to score a penalty kick or free kick or whatever. You know, I can't make them better on that part, but I can teach Cristiano Ronaldo how to play with his teammates. I can teach Ibrahimovic how to take down, how to take away a little part of his ego and be a good team player and to win champions, win matches, etc. So it's about man management, right? And it seems to me that this is also like a big topic. And again, it just evolves onto a coach that is open-minded, you know, for that kind of work, and who has also that skills.
Yeah, and who's willing to learn.
Yeah, I'm willing to learn. Yeah, definitely. So, nice.
Good.
We've come to some mixture and some formula.
It's cool.
Okay.